Hey there folks, I just got done reviewing the Marvel Legends Spider-Man and Spider-Rat 2-pack and realized that I never uploaded the SH Figuarts Across the Spider-Verse Miles and Gwen announcement video. I recorded that the day that those figures were announced, and it's probably been over a week now, so it's late news, but I might as well go ahead and upload the video anyway just because it's pretty much already done. I just got to add this clip in. But I figured I'd go ahead and do this just to let you guys know that's the reason it hasn't, or that's the reason it's been late. It's just because I completely forgot. So I might as well upload it. So of course, with that being said, until next time, true believers. Hey there folks, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the newly announced SH Figuarts Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse figures. Today they announced Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy's Spider-Gwen. So let's take a look at it. Seriously, this looks really, really good. So let's go. Heading over to the good old the gram, the one that shows the show. Taking a look at Miles first, of course, we've got to look at his new suit, which I actually forgot he was getting a new suit. And I was looking at this and I remembered that he's got the red lines on here now. And then I took some more looks at the images, and now he's got some more paneling in the suit, which looks cool. I'm not the biggest fan of when they make Spider-Man's suits overly complicated. And sometimes it's okay for me, but other times it's not. Specifically, it bothers me more with Peter, because Peter's the one that has more of the money issues. That's not really something that I associate with Miles. Not that he doesn't have that issue, but it's more in your face with Peter Parker. So I don't like it when they make Peter's suit more complicated, because if the suit's more complicated, it's more complex, then it takes more materials and more money to make that suit. Like, for an example, the Spider-Man just has red gloves. You literally get red fabric, you trace your hand, you cut the shape of your hand out, you stitch it together, and then you fold the glove inside out, and that's your red glove. But then you got things like the Amazing Spider-Man, or the Advanced Suit, or all these other suits where the Square Enix suit from the Avengers game, where they make the Peter Parker's Spider-Man suit much more complicated, where I don't think it needs to be that. And I would agree with the same thing with Miles, especially since I really like Miles's classic design. Oh, he's up there. But this one still looks cool. I just prefer the first suit, and I prefer Miles's comic suit. This is not as crazy as like the Insomniac suit, where they make his suit way too crazy and way too complicated, in my opinion. This looks pretty cool. I still like it. It's just, I don't know, I prefer it being simpler. But as far as the figure goes, it looks really good. You get some of this kind of like this brick texture going throughout the suit, but almost kind of looks more like a knitted texture, the way it crosses over itself, which is pretty cool. I like that. I like that the other sort of panel lining has more of like a different, more of a smooth texture, and it might even be a different color. It's kind of hard to tell right here. It might be more of a blue, whereas the rest, I think the entire figure is blue. I don't think it's black, but it's like a really dark blue and then maybe a little lighter blue, I think. I can't really tell. And I like the spider logo, of course. And then you've got the red going on there, and these giant eyes, these giant expressive eyes. It just looks super, super good. What is it? Scheduled to release June 2023? That's pretty cool. That's not too far off. That's roughly when the movie comes out, I think. And SH Figuarts is always on point when it comes to the figures release. They're always right up there with Marvel Legends when the figures come out. Unless you consider the No Way Home figures. They're going to come out before these ones, hopefully. But they were still over a year away from when the movie came out. But this looks pretty good. Of course, you got these wide open hands here. Very, very nice for expressive, more kind of expressive gestures. And you got the one eye here with the more normal size, the bigger eye with the normal sized eye. Looks pretty cool. Then we get a look at Miles's unmasked head. This looks pretty cool. I don't know how I feel about him getting older. I don't like, it's cool to see him get older, but it's I don't know. It's hard to see the characters grow up. I'm not the biggest fan of Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, just because I haven't watched it so many times. But I very clearly know what Miles looks like and acts like in that movie, and it's going to be kind of hard to see him get older, because I'm sure in the second movie, well, maybe the second one won't have a time jump, I don't know. The second part to Across the Spider-Verse. I don't know, but it's good. See, he looks a lot older now. He really does. But as far as the head sculpt goes, it looks pretty freaking good. I like it. Here's more of like a nervous, or more of a, I don't know how you describe this. I may be confused, but I would more of like an uncomfortable head sculpt, or like a nervous laugh. That's what I would give that. And I don't think this is another head sculpt here. It looks like this one. Yeah. So you can get a sense that he's definitely got a lot more meat on his bones in terms of him being more muscular up in the upper body, but he's still very lean and lanky in the lower body, which I really like. If those arms came down, if those arms were straight down, his arms would be long as hell. They'd probably stop right around the lower end of his thigh, honestly. He's got some long-ass arms. But this is pretty cool. I really like this. And again, the figure looks more like it's blue than black. So that's interesting. Just for a comparison, you can see that his hair actually is black. So this figure definitely looks more blue. But I do like the suit overall. I just really prefer Miles' original design and the design he has in the first movie. So I'd be interested to see if SH Figuarts goes back and does their own version. But they have a lot of competition, because Mafex and Sentinel both did really, really good jobs from what I can tell. And I want to get the Mafex one over the Sentinel. Just because I really want to get the Mafex and the Sentinel version of Peter. So it'd be expensive to get both versions of Miles as well. And I also want to get the Sentinel version of Gwen Stacy. But anyway, back to the SH Figuarts here. This looks pretty good. I wish they'd shown maybe some more of the stuff that he comes with. You don't even really get a good sense of the hands that he comes with. Of course, he's going to come out to whip hands and stuff like that, but they give you some of his expressive unmasked head sculpts and his expressive eyes, and you know, a good sense of what the suit looks like. But other than that, they didn't show too much. So let's go ahead and take a look. And again, this figure is scheduled to release in June 2023, which is pretty cool. So moving on to Gwen Stacy. Boom! Look at that. That looks pretty freaking cool. I really like Spider-Gwen in terms of her design. And I like Gwen Stacy as it is, even though I'm much more a fan of Mary Jane. But this figure looks really, really cool. I think, again, I would have to say the same that I said for Miles. I think I prefer her Into the Spider-Verse costume, just because I really like the way that they did the blue at the bottom of the feet. This one, it looks like she's just wearing some Chuck Taylors or some Converse. I don't know how I feel about that. It's kind of cool to see her wearing shoes just because it makes her stand out a little bit more, but her costume already makes her stand out like crazy because she's got the black, the white, and the pink, and also the blue sprinkled through. So I like that. And now she's got webbing on her arms. I don't know if that was there before or if it's a part of her original design. I can't really remember off the top of my head. But this figure looks really, really good. And like I said, I want to get the Sentinel one. And this one's definitely going to be a lot cheaper than the Sentinel. But it looks really, really good. You get that good, that nice texture throughout the body. And she's got a nice physique as well. She definitely looks better than what Marvel Legends would do. She's got a much more athletic, feminine build. Marvel Legends doesn't do a very good job when it comes to that. So I like that a lot. Looks pretty good. And her head sculpt. Let's take a look at this image first. Again, you get a good sense of the kind of articulation that she has. Very standard for SH Figuarts. And it looks like they've done her... I might go back and look at Miles for just a quick second, because the way that they've done her hip articulation looks more like the way that Mafex would approach it compared to what we're used to seeing from from SH Figuarts. Because SH Figuarts does this style of articulation for their Spider-Mans, which it might be kind of hard to see, but which is something that everybody complains about. Personally, it doesn't bother me, but it definitely looks like they went with a different approach here. But I mean, if they did this sort of design for Gwen Stacy, that would be a lot of people would consider that inappropriate, because it already looks like Spider-Man's wearing a thong. So I don't know. But I like the hood. I like these squinty eyes. That looks really good. And I remember her having webbing on the inside of her hood, but I don't know if it was over on her wrists before. This head looks really, really good. I still love her haircut. I think that looks really cool. And there's some paint shading in her hair, and the top of where the part is, and at the very bottom of the tips of her hair. Looks pretty good, and it looks like you get an interchangeable mask down piece, which is cool. A swap out neck. All this looks really, really cool. The head sculpt looks incredible as well. And a little shot at her base, and she got some webbing accessories. I really like the squinty eyes on Gwen Stacy. That's really cool, and I love the blue and the purple base. That looks really, really cool. And again, she's scheduled for release of June 2023 as well. I'm definitely very excited for both of these figures. I haven't taken a look to see if they're up on... Oh, okay, pre-orders are the 12th. So that should be tomorrow, as of recording this video. But that's exciting. Let's go back and look at Miles and see what kind of hip articulation he has. What did I do? What just happened? I didn't go forward, I went backward. I don't know why it skipped over. Alright, so yeah, just right off the bat, it looks like he's got different hip articulation as well. So maybe SH Figuarts is tired of hearing everybody complain about it, so they might be going a different route. Yeah, his looks much more standard. It looks much more like what you would see from Mafex. It doesn't have all the cuts in it like this figure does, which again, it doesn't bother me personally, because you can get the figure to do some pretty nice things. Like, you can have his legs come in and do like the double kick swing, which is something you can't do with very many Spider-Man figures. This is like a classic Toby pose, or a Toby swing pose. The way he arcs, he'll come in forward with his legs back, and then he'll swing forward, bring both of his legs forward, and then when he lets go, he repeats that. He does that a lot with his swing. I had a mental fart there for a second, a brain, whatever they call it. But this design for the hip articulation has never bothered me. I've always actually liked it. It's not aesthetically pleasing, but it's not enough to bother me. I mean, it's really just 2 extra pieces when you think about it. Other than that, it's pretty standard, but whatever. It looks like they might be moving away from that, at least for these 2 figures. But anyway, with all that being said, those are the new SH Figuarts Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy figures. They look really, really good, at least in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell. All that would be greatly appreciated if you decide to do so. And of course, until next time, true believers.